South Africa for the next 3 months at least. We joined on the line by Johann van Tonder, economist at Momentum Investments. Johann, good afternoon to you and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon and thank you.
Well, Johann, we've seen economists now warning that South Africans should brace for price increases in July and August. And, we've seen what has happened with Eskom. We've seen the petrol price that has been rising. And these obviously have been two key areas where consumers have been feeling a lot of pressure. And obviously this has an impact right across the board to many other goods and services.
Yes, you're quite right. It's very unfortunate, but municipalities normally increase their tariffs in July and August, and we will, as consumers, see most of those increases coming through during July and August, and especially from the water side and the electricity side, where we're going to feel a lot of the pinch. And then, as you already stated, it's also fuel prices that's been increasing now for a couple of months already. So both of those municipality tariffs that are going to get through, as well as what we're experiencing now, is affecting prices all over. So it's very unfortunate, but it's happening actually. This type of thing is happening all over the world right now.
Well, certainly it's around the world, but obviously when one looks at you got these increases, but again there are other parts around the world where, in terms of service delivery, for instance, there is a quality service that is being delivered for the price you're paying. But when you have problems, when you don't have decent service delivery, when you have municipalities putting up their rates, but you have your garbage not being picked up for 5 or 6 days. Now that speaks a lot in terms of whether these price hikes are justified or not, Johann.
Yeah, you're quite right. That's the thing. If you pay for a service, you expect the delivery of the service, and it's not always happening everywhere. So I might just add, for instance, I live in Tshwane area, and we've already received a letter from the municipality where they're telling us that water is going to go up by 10% and electricity by 15%. But on the other hand, they said in order to compensate for that, they're not going to increase like property taxes and, as you say, refuse removal and so on by more than the inflation rate, which will bring down the average municipal increases. But still, it's very much almost 3 times higher than the inflation rate. The current inflation rate it's more than 5 times the inflation rate right now. And you expect delivery of service for that type of increase. And yeah,
exactly.
It's not.
And I think when one looks at Eskom, for instance, and for years and years and years, the situation obviously not easing at this point in time. In fact, one of the biggest problems that we are faced with is as a result of the state-owned enterprises, as a result of mismanagement, as a result of corruption. And despite the difficult climate that we are living in at this point in time, with the pandemic, with job losses, but at the end of the day, it's the chickens that have come home to roost, Johann.
Yeah, you're right. That's the thing. And the problem is it's not something you can fix overnight. It's also something you're going to have to fix over a number of years, unfortunately. And that's the situation we're in now. So it's tough times. It's really tough times. But I might also add there's a little bit of good news. If we look at just another price increase, for example, for people who's got children at schools, I don't know whether you're aware, but the school fee increases, the average school fee increases that were just announced by Stats SA last month came down quite dramatically. For example, your primary school fees on average in the country last year increased by 7%. This year it's 2.5%. Your secondary schools last year was almost 8%. This year it's 4.5%. So it still increases, but not as high as it used to be. And in some way, it can compensate for the high municipal increases and the increases that the state-owned enterprises are actually levying on us as consumers. So it's tough times that's lying ahead, and consumers are going to have to make choices. Because if you're going to have to pay for water and you have to pay for electricity, and you don't always get the service, so what are you going to do? You're going to have to make choices of how, or whether you're going to go off the grid or whether you're going to use less or whatever the case may be. But the thing is, consumers have to make some tough choices just to maintain a normal standard of living that they've been used to, not an increased one, just a normal one. So we're going to have to go through this period, the next 2 or 3 years, where we're going to see some hefty increases still in your municipal tariffs going forward. And at one point, we're going to have to start demanding for a better service delivery from our municipalities, because if we don't do anything about it, it's just going to continue.
Well, certainly, Johan, but also I think at the end of the day, it's going to reflect. We know that we've got local elections that have been announced now. We know the date of the local elections as well. So again, this is the time where consumers obviously need to put on their thinking cap as well, because, it's one thing complaining about poor service delivery, but it's also about voting those that are responsible for the substandard service delivery that we are experiencing as well.
Yeah, it certainly. I mean, that's why we do have elections. It's for consumers and voters to vote for the people they think can deliver the services to them. And on 27 October, they're going to have another chance to vote for those people they think can deliver the services. Because it's one thing to know that the state-owned enterprises are actually levying high increases, but it's something else to receive the services, as you rightly pointed out. Because if you pay that much, then obviously you want to receive what you pay for. And on the 27th of October, there is a chance for consumers to say, yes, I agree with you, or no, I don't want any more of this.
Well, Johan, let's see what happens. But for now, thank you very much for your time with us here on Salam Media this afternoon. All the best to you, sir. Take care.
It's a pleasure. Same. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Johann van Tonder joining us this afternoon, and that brings us straight on to 16 minutes past 5 p.m. We come back, we are going to be playing out a lecture or a clip, and this is coming through courtesy of Mufti Ismail Menk, and it's about dealing with intrusive thoughts that affect one's daily religious obligations, and this is explained in this clip by Mufti Ismail Menk. So when we come back, we still got that to come, and remember, we've still got iftar coming through. The iftar nasiha, iftar time in Durban will be at 5:32 p.m. So not long to go. In the next 16 minutes, inshallah, iftar time will set in Durban.
The Iftar Drive on Salam Media.
It's been a household name for years. It's been an important ingredient in South African kitchens, and it's been an affordable, healthy choice for your family.